Is this you? Do you know who you're talking to at this point?
No, sir, I don't.
Talking to.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 9984 State of Texas versus Jose Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Alfonso Cabañas for defendant Jose Gonzalez.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez? All right, you're gonna need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear. And so that I can hear. You entered a plea of no contest to count 1 for the offense of murder on June 13. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 35 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And there are 2 cases that are being taken in consideration. Those cause numbers are 2021 CR 9982 and 2021 CR 9983. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I have, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
None from defense, Judge.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
Not for the sentence.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, Judge, only Mr. Gonzalez, but I don't know if the court wants to allow him to talk or.
However you wish to do it. If I'm going to swear him in, if he's going to be doing it by narrative and the state has no objections, then we can proceed by narrative.
And we can do that, Judge.
All right.
Narrative.
State, will you have any objections to proceeding with testimony from the defendant by narrative? Of course, you'll have a chance to cross-examine him.
No, Judge.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Gonzalez? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Jose Gonzalez Jr.
All right, and defense says there's something you wish to inform the court of?
Mr. Gonzalez, you were given an opportunity to talk to the judge. But, well, let me just say it up, Judge. We've had a chance to go over the PSI, right, Mr. Gonzalez? Prior to today, you and I had talked about what was going to happen this morning, and you are aware of it, right? It is your desire.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're going to have to speak up. Court reporter cannot hear. All right, yes.
It is your desire, Mr. Gonzalez, to talk to the judge about the sentencing today and tell her what it is you feel or what it is you want her to know about the sentencing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Judge Boyd, I stand before not only you, but the family of the victim as well.
Okay, I am so sorry, but you're whispering, and I know it's hard, but if the court reporter can't hear you, and I can't hear you, then what you're saying is not going to make a difference because I can't hear you.
I stand before the judge today, ma'am, not only the judge, but the family of the victim as well, ma'am. And I just want to say, not only am I embarrassed, but I truly am sorry. And I take in full, I take full responsibility for what happened that night. And it wasn't intentional. I was under the influence. I made some bad choices and even worse decisions. And I just want the family to know that I truly am sorry. This isn't my character. I was out of character this night that this happened. And I know how I would feel if this would happen to one of my family members. And I just want the family to know that it wasn't me that night. Like I said, I had some things go wrong in my life and I made bad choices and completely am sorry for it. I can't say it enough or express how truly sorry I am and remorseful. And I know that not only do they have to live with it, but it's something that I have to live with the rest of my life. And I truly am sorry from the bottom of my heart for everything that I caused and for all this that I brought up, and I accept full responsibility.
All right. Any other questions for your client?
No questions at this time for Mr. Gonzalez, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez, you saw the PSI report. with your attorney, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, you just need to speak up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is there anything that from your statement in here that you would like to retract from what you talked about, especially about the actual incident that night? Because the reason I ask that is because you said today in court that you're taking full responsibility for it.
Yes, sir.
Now, the problem is that in this report, and I'll read from it, it says that the person that you ran over tried to hit you with a tire iron.
Yes, sir.
And then you also stated that he jumped in front of the truck 2 different times.
Yes, sir.
And then the second time is when I ran him over.
Yes, sir.
But you do realize that he walked in front of that vehicle. I have a video that I'll be showing you shortly. And he came over to the passengers, I mean, the driver's side. You recall that?
Yes, 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 sir.
And you're in the driver's seat. And you drove forward. And then you backed up. And
Yes, sir.
then that person, Mario Renteria, walked in front of the car and got into the grassy area. Do you recall that?
I'm sorry, just 1 second. Excuse me. In the box, if you all cannot whisper, do not talk. We're on the record. You may continue.
Do you recall that? He got out of the way of the vehicle. He was getting out of your way and you turned the wheel and drove directly over him. Do you recall that?
I turned the wheel to the right. He was standing in front of the driver's side in front of me, and I turned the wheel to the right to try to veer off and go around, but there's only so far because there's a ditch right there
Okay.
that I was, but
You saw the video, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna see,
Sure.
you're gonna have an opportunity to see it again, okay?
yes, sir.
So I might give you the benefit of the doubt, considering that you're intoxicated at night. Why don't you tell the judge, what were you on that night?
Meth, marijuana, I don't even know what else. I'm not gonna
Xanax?
lie. I don't even remember taking Xanax, sir, but if I was, I was.
And also, just going to your record, you just got out of prison,
Yes, sir.
and then this happened.
Yes, sir.
And so the way I read this is that you're stating that it was the victim's fault that you ran over him.
I'm not gonna say it was all completely his fault, but I mean, if it's seen like on the video, I try to go around the passenger side. I was trying to avoid a situation that happened at the gas pump, period. And that's what I was trying to get away from.
So how I mean, you just said not all of his fault, or possibly his fault. How is it any of his fault?
I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, we were both at bad places at, at even worse time. And I mean, I know he was just changing his tire, but at the same time, when I approached him, if I recall correctly, I told him like, hey, I wanted to try to get out of there, period. And when I asked him for a ride, it just, I don't know, he wasn't, I guess because my demeanor, I had my shirt off, I have tattoos, maybe I was.
I mean,
bit
you're a
aggressive.
gang member, right?
No, sir, I'm not.
You're not part of the Mexican mafia. That's what it was dictated in here.
I understand it was dictated, but no, I'm not.
What's the Playboy bunny behind your ear?
It's just a Playboy bunny.
Just a Playboy bunny?
Yes, sir.
That's not related to the Technology Homes at all.
No, sir. The oil horns and the Mexican mafia.
I know they conflict. I see people some switch sides. So you also, do you remember approaching him for the first time? You approached him twice.
No, I don't.
And so you approached him once, had an altercation with him, you walked to the gas pumps, and then you walked across the road. Do you remember that?
No, sir.
Do you remember being in the median with your boxers down, your shorts down?
No, sir.
And do you remember walking back and talking to people at the gas pumps again?
Sir.
You remember going then to the victim's truck when he was on the passenger side trying to change his tire?
When I remember was when I walked up to him when he was at the driver's side and he was standing there with that, I guess, the tire iron in his hand.
To be fair, he's changing the tire. So what would you have in your hand if you're changing the tire?
I mean, I understand that.
Well, you stated here that he hit you with it. Do you recall that, or you just say that?
No, I said he swung it at me. I never said he hit me with it.
Okay, well, because in here it says that he Okay, yeah, I closed the door and the guy was standing there with a tire iron. Was that the individual, the victim that you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever bash on the windows or anything like that, try to get you out of that truck? It's on video, so I want to know if you remember.
I don't remember. I'm not.
Do you recall saying that there was another guy in the truck and he was closing the door and that there was a girl in the truck that you're trying to help?
That was the first truck that I
The first
brought
truck.
up on.
Now, to be fair, you don't know those people over there by the gas pumps either. I talked to them and they don't know you.
Didn't know it.
And it states in here that you said that you were trying to steal the truck, is that right?
No, I never said I was trying to steal a truck.
You said, I told the officers that I was trying to steal the truck, but that's a lie.
I told the officer I was trying to steal a truck and I said that's a lie.
But you know that you weren't supposed to be in that vehicle, right?
Yes,
And that was not your vehicle.
yes.
Judge, at this time, I'd like to use a state exhibit, I believe number 2, that was entered for stipulated steps to show and see if you can identify portions of that.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right. You may present State's Exhibit number 2.
And Judge, that's on the screen currently.
At your computer?
Okay, at this time, I'm gonna be playing at 22:44:04. Sir. You see that person right there?
Yes, sir.
And is that you?
Yes, sir.
And that's you with your shirt off, but is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Where are you approaching? Can you see? Who's that you're approaching, sir?
I have no idea.
Is that the truck? Can you see what that is? You see that there's a person on a bicycle there too, is that right?
Yes, sir. I can,
And do you know that individual?
no, sir.
So he's standing there while you're at that truck. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see yourself walk off there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's the first time you approached the victim at a truck. Now I'm going to 22:50:33. I'm gonna start playing it here. Can you see an individual at that truck in a white shirt? He just walked around, there's a glitch. Now you're gonna see another person walk up right here. You know who that person is?
Can't see that good from here.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
Can't see that good from here.
Well, I'll tell you, that's you approaching him for the second time, roughly 6 minutes later. After you left him the first time. You approach and you go to the side of the vehicle. Lights come on. You see the victim walk in front of the truck, go to the driver's side. You know who's behind the wheel at this point?
I am.
Looking at you. Drive forward where you could have driven off at this point, but you chose not to. You reversed and turned the wheel. Now you have the victim in the middle of the vehicle. He walks off into the grassy area. You turn right, and run directly over him. Do you recall that?
No, sir.
Second portion here, you ram it into the Texaco. It didn't end up there. You rammed it into Texaco. You'll see you exit the vehicle. Nobody else in that vehicle. witnesses are going out to check on the victim in the middle of the field. You continue to walk inside of the gas station. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir. Walking in the gas station, yes.
And Judge, there's many different views, but in one particular that I will be showing to the court is camera angle number 13. And I'll use portions of that. So to save some time for going through every single one of them. But I'll start this at 22:54. I'm sorry, 22:53. Do you see yourself on the top of that camera walking by?
So,
And I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this to 22:54:30. I'm sorry, 22:54:17. Is that you?
yes, sir.
Is this you? Do you know who you're talking to at this point?
No, sir, I don't.
Talking to officers that have come in to arrest you. At this time, I'll fast forward it, Your Honor. I'm starting 22:55:42. As officers approach, you retreat into a small office. And that's where they have to enter. And that's where the cases that are being taken into consideration of you kicking two different officers. Do you recall that?
No, sir.
So in saying all this and showing you these videos, you state in this statement here that I'm hoping they see the videos and reduce this to a manslaughter. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And so you, I mean, at this time, do you believe that this is a manslaughter?
No, sir.
Pass my witness law.
Defense?
Judge, just to clarify a point that I think was just misread by the state. In reviewing the PSR, I think the statement was. Let me know if this is correct, Mr. Gonzalez. They told the officers that I was trying to steal a truck, but that's a lie. All right, so you never told the pre-sentence investigator person you were trying to steal the truck. It was whoever told them that it was a lie. You weren't trying to steal it. And then, based on what we saw, Mr. Gonzalez, you were under the influence of several drugs, correct?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
State, any further questions?
Not for this witness law.
All right. Any other witnesses, defense?
Not from defense, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument. State,
We'll reserve for close, yeah.
defense.
Thank you, Judge. I think what we just saw, Your Honor, on both video and what we heard from Mr. Gonzalez are the unfortunate consequences of an individual who was heavily intoxicated by multiple drugs. If the court reviews the PSR, it will see that prior to this incident, Mr. Gonzalez did not have any assaultive offenses. It was nothing but drug use, for which he did his time and was on parole. From the beginning of my representation of Mr. Gonzalez, Your Honor, I want the court to know that Mr. Gonzalez has been very apologetic for that night, for the death that he caused, and for the terrible loss that it caused to the victim's family. He's never once, Mr. Gonzalez, he's never once told me that he wanted to fight this case or take this case to trial. Nonetheless, we reviewed discovery, we saw the video, we saw the reports. And it is confirmed through through the evidence and his testimony that he was heavily intoxicated by use of meth. The court just saw his behavior was erratic. As Mr. Gonzalez said, it's completely out of character for him that evening. But as a consequence of his drug use, Your Honor, there was a person who died and for whom Mr. Gonzalez expressed his remorse and also his sorry to the family. And I say that, Judge, because I want the court to consider what Mr. Gonzalez said, the PSR, but more importantly, in acknowledging that Mr. Gonzalez from the very beginning accepted his guilt. Regardless of what the state asked him or regardless of his answers, you can tell that Mr. Gonzalez has difficulty expressing himself. But I want the court to know that in no way did Mr. Gonzalez ever or today try to minimize his guilt or put the blame on the victim. He accepted responsibility. He told the court he was under the influence of drugs. And he didn't. Done that evening. And so with that said, Your Honor, I would like the court to consider a punishment, thank you, to consider a punishment for Mr. Gonzalez of 20 years incarceration.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Victim in this case, Mario Renteria, just trying to fix his flat tire. Pulled up in that gas station where he'd been numerous times before. In testimony that he was there quite often to go get a drink before he goes to work or anything like that. He was a frequent individual that came by there. He was a nice man that he was just there to change that tire. And what ended up happening to him that night is egregious. This individual, Mr. Gonzalez, has pled to this case. But the fact is that he hasn't answered for the case yet. And the fact is that he approached the victim 2 different times, and witnesses would have testified and in the prosecution guide that Mr. Renteria was not aggressive, that wasn't attacking Mr. Gonzalez at all, was trying to get away from him at times. And you can see from the video that the state has provided to the court and shown to the court that the victim walked in front of that car 2 different times, and the defendant had an opportunity to leave in that stolen vehicle if he wanted to leave. But he chose to turn that wheel to the right and run over Mr. Renteria directly. And so in saying that, Your Honor, I want to go over a portion of what the autopsy shows of the damage that the defendant caused. Both femurs, both legs were broken in half. Pelvis had multiple fractures. He had a broken back, mid-back, and the thoracic. He had a lacerated liver. He had a lacerated lungs. He had a skull fracture, and every single one of his ribs were broken. What is called a collapsed abdominal, where he could not have breathed. So in saying that, Your Honor, 20 years is a manslaughter, 35 years is a murder. This is plain and simple a murder. He knowingly, intentionally drove that vehicle over the victim, and the state would be asking for 35 years, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez, I want you to know that I always reread stipulations. I always read the PSI report. And I always keep an open mind in listening to arguments from the defense and also from the state. And I understand that maybe if you had not been using drugs, maybe none of this would not have happened. We will never know, because we have to deal with what we're here for now. And what I'm looking at is the fact that you had someone who is merely trying to change their tire, and now they're dead through no fault of their own. So that's an issue. I know that anytime that someone is sentenced to, it's difficult because those are years behind bars that you're not able to do the things that you want to do. You can still see your family, but it's different seeing your family locked up as opposed to being in what they call the free world. But at the same time, there's someone who is no longer with us through your actions, and who knows what joy or happiness they were due to bring to this world, but you took their chance away from that. You took the chance of them being able to have more time with their family. You understand? That's either yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So previously, the court found you guilty. The court is going to assess an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, taking consideration 2021 CR 9982, 2021 CR 9983, give you credit for any time served, and the court will sentence you to 35 years in the prison. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Ma'am.
All right. Is there going to be victim impact?
Yes, we have two.
All right. So members of the complainant's family are going to speak to you. I require that everyone in this court is respectful to each other. But as you can imagine, I'm sure there is heartbreak. Right. So just internalize what's being said. All right. All right. Mr. Gary, before we go on the record, you have a violation report. I'm sorry, you're whispering.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Why are you not making your appointments with pretrial services?
I had made an appointment with my outpatient and I was doing my call-ins, but I had lost my phone with all my information and everything, and I still don't have one to this day. But he gave me all the information. He said I can do it through email, via email. So I'm gonna get a phone on the 1st of the month. I have a friend that's gonna help me get one.
That's correct, Judge. He notified me that he lost his phone even for this hearing. I emailed him, so that's how he was able to get access to that. But I did show him the violation report, Judge, and he did call Ms. Angelica Sosa, the pretrial officer,
Mhm.
and left his email as well as the number. It's gonna be the same number, but he just needs to get it operational again. That's what he's talking about, August 1st. I did notify him about his misdemeanor county court 6 court date, August 29th. And here he has a court with this honorable court, August 21st as well, Judge. So we're gonna get him on the same page with that. I told him if there's any issues in the future, contact me and I can put him in contact with pretrial as well. Obviously, that's his responsibility at the time, Judge. But at this time, we're trying to get him into treatment, some help, and considering exploring the possibility of a specialty court, maybe drug courts.
Drug court is at capacity. If people want to call their legislatures or talk to commissioners court and say they need more funding so they can have more probation officers, more treatment providers, then that's what I would suggest.
That's that, Judge, or mental health court with Judge Huff, or possibly mental health court Judge Ron Hell. There's different avenues that we can explore, I believe, Judge. But ultimately, I believe this is an individual identifying as needing help. But in terms of his violation, Your Honor, I don't foresee there being any future issues since Mr. Aguirre now knows the procedure that he needs to show up and he needs to be in contact with people, because if not, it's only a matter of time before warrant issues.
When's the last time you used drugs? No, you need to tell me when is the last time you used drugs. Oh, and here's the thing, you need to be honest with me, because if you're not, and I don't think you're being honest, you know what's going to end up happening? You're going to get a drug test today and I'm going to find out anyway. So your attorney's trying to get you help. I'm trying to get you help. I'm sure the state is trying to get you help, but nobody can get you help if you're not going to be honest. So when is the last time you used drugs? And what were you using? All right. So he needs to be in treatment quick, fast, and hurry.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what I'm going to do, I'll continue him on his bond, but he has 7 days to comply. And you need to be in outpatient treatment and you need to set an appointment. He needs to be in an appointment with Ms. Sosa
Yes, Your Honor.
before those 7 days. If he is not, what's going to end up happening, I'm going to get another violation report. I'm going to hear it. And there may be a chance that you're not going to be on bond anymore. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So who are you with through outpatient treatment?
Sosa. He's needing to make contact with Officer Sosa to get that referral process.
And I'm going to do sober meetings. And it's going to be 90 meetings in 90 days. All right. Do you have all the discovery in this case?
I'm still sifting through, Your Honor. At this time, it looks to be in order, but I will have for sure answer for the court around the first court date, August 21st, Judge. I'll notify the prosecutors if there's anything outstanding between now and then.
All right. So you're set for August 21st?
Here, yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll see you back on August 21st. Norma, they're already set for August 21st. Can you give Mr. Gary another reset form because he's saying he lost certain things? All right, we'll see you on August 21st in council. I'm going to turn this over to the clerk. So if you want a copy of the court's order, you can get a copy from the clerk.
Yes, Your Honor. Not a problem. I appreciate it. Upon executing the reset form, may be excused.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. All right, I'm going to call 2021 CR 5795, State of Texas versus John Leal Klosna. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks of the state of Texas.
Defense?
Adele Silver for the defense.
Are you John Leal Klosna?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Are you the same John Leal Klosna who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 5795 for the offense of assault of a pregnant person on August 31st, 2021 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 7, on or about the 30th day of April 2023 in Wilson County, Texas. The defendant, John Leal Klosna, departed Bear County without the written permission of the court and or the supervision officer in violation of condition number 7.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am. Say will waive and abandon the other allegations.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 7, the court could find it true, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 7?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 7 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement, should the court follow it, is to deny the motion and to alter and amend the conditions to add hostility and aggression management course and the family violence impact panel. And those, with those additional conditions, that is.
All right, why are we needing hostility management and anger course and family violence impact panel when he was supposed to be doing the BIPP course?
He has finished the BIPP course. It was finished last year. Yes, and then there's a new allegation of a new number 1 in Wilson County. It is still pending.
So why should I continue him on probation? I don't understand. He leaves the county without permission. I'm not even going to consider the fact that there is a pending case in Wilson County because you all didn't go on that. But I do have the state and you all agreeing to hostility management course and the family violence impact panel live. So I'm trying to figure out why shouldn't I not just send him to prison?
Well, he has completed many of the things that he had to complete, and he's only 2 years in, so he has 3 more years to go on his probation.
Why is he leaving the county without permission?
It was 25 minutes from his home. I mean, technically it still is out of the county, but it's 25 minutes from his home for a family function with his family.
State?
You're right. I think in the hostility and aggression management course, they do teach some different skills than you learn in the matters intervention course. And I think that maybe with these new skills, they could serve the defendant well and that he could complete the rest of his probation successfully.
All right, this is what the court will do. Is there anything you wish to say, sir?
Ma'am, I apologize for my actions and I won't mess up again. If you please can give me this opportunity to prove to you that I can do better, I will, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include hostility management course, family violence impact course live panel, and 10 days in the Bear County Jail as a condition. All right, so you're going to go into custody today, serve your 10 days in the Bear County Jail. And what you need to remember is you have to follow the rules of the court. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, so immediately upon your release, you need to get in touch with your probation officer, and you need to remember you're not allowed to leave the county. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And you need to remember that the rules of this court are the rules of this court, because this contract is not between your attorney and the state. This contract is with the court. Do you understand?
Yes,
All right, good luck to you. All right, we're going to go back on the record and 2019 CR 8625W, State of Texas versus Latoya Marshall Dowden. Have you all had a chance to confer with probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so what are you all requesting?
That she would like the opportunity to take advantage of mental health opportunities that are available through probation department. I talked to her at length about it. She understands what's going to be expected of her and believes that it's in her best interest to take advantage of moving forward in her life.
All right, state.
I conferred with both defense and probation, and I'm in agreement with whatever probation is requesting, Your Honor.
All right, probation, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, if we could extend the term of her probation and alternate amend for Nick caseload, that will give her an opportunity to get all of the services that we have available for mental health.
All right, and how long are you requesting the extension? 1 year, 2 years?
I would say 2 years, Your Honor.
All right. And do you have a place to stay?
No,
So you're homeless?
right now.
All right.
But I have asked my grandmother times and times again, and she had said no. Because she's scared that I'm out to get her, and I'm not.
All right, so then you're not allowed to stay with your grandmother, okay? So that's going to be off the table.
Your Honor, if I may,
Mhm.
it will be much easier if we keep her in custody for all of the evaluations. Once she's seen with the Center for Health Care Services, I'm sure they can help with some type of housing.
All right, I'm going to have you remain in custody for your evaluations. How long do you think that will take?
Within 45 to 60 days.
All right, so I'm going to have you remain in custody for the evaluations. And what I can tell you, I know 45, 60 days seems like a lot of time, and it is. But guess what? You had agreed to do 3 years in prison. So whether you were doing the 45 days or 60 days in prison, you're going to do it anyway. And the fact that you'll be waiting at the jail for 45 or 60 days, you will still be getting credit for that time. You understand? So this is your attorney, the state, probation, and myself trying to help you deal with your mental health issues, because otherwise what will end up happening is you will go to prison, do your time, come out, and then you're going to be right back here. And who knows, I may have won the lottery, enjoying my best life on a beach. The parties that you see here may not be here. You may end up with different people, and there may be a different outcome. You understand? All right, so I'll deny the motion. Alter amend conditions to extend for 2 years. Mick caseload while in custody. She's to do her evaluations while in custody, and there to look for housing for her. And if, when you are released, if there is any issue and you feel as though probation is not addressing it, or maybe you lose your paperwork and you forget, you can always come back to this court and talk to me, okay?
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you need?
No.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Mario Aguilar?
Morning, Judge,
Good morning.
Council's present. wanted to approach and give the court an update. We have the, you don't recall, Your Honor, this was a plea bargain that we were in the middle of, which has immigration
Yes,
ramifications. So we have the public defenders.
yes.
Judge, I had requested additional information on this client.
I'm sorry, requested what?
Additional information, immigration paperwork from his family. I haven't got it. He said that his family did send it to me. I haven't been able to complete the PDA letter.
All right, is your family here in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so do they have the documents with them still or no?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're gonna recall this for Monday. Your parents can come here and bring the documentation, yes.
Judge, I have a vacation letter on file. I'll be on Florida with the family next week. Maybe please do it on the 8th or 10th. Please.
Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this on the 8th or 10th? That's what he's
But Judge,
requesting.
if, for the exchange of the paperwork, does counsel have to be present?
I don't have the present.
No, he does not.
Okay.
All right, you know what, Norma? Recall this back then for Monday. And you need to have your parents here on Monday or counsel talk to the parents, thank you for thinking of that. Talk to the parents, have them come here on Monday to deliver the documentation that she needs. All right, and then Ms. Ferguson will put his actual case on the 8th. But his parents need to be here on Monday to give her the documentation.
So do 2 days, Monday and then.
Yes. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you.
And counsel, if you'll make sure you get in touch with his parents to have the documentation.
The info right now. Judge.